Hi everyone, welcome to Chinese Anchor. Coming to China for the first time? What do you really need to bring? Which apps should you install on your phone? How does mobile payment work in China? How much cash should you prepare? And can you bring medicine into the country? If this is your first trip to China, watching this video will make your journey much smoother and stress-free. International credit cards are generally accepted at shopping malls, supermarkets, hotels, and airports. That said, I strongly recommend carrying about 300 to 500 RMB in cash with you. Cash is mainly useful for things like taking a taxi, buying food, or emergencies when your phone or internet doesn't work. In China, your phone is almost like a second ID. You will use it for almost everything in daily life. I highly recommend installing these apps before you arrive. Map app. A map, also called 高德 map. It's one of the most accurate navigation apps in China. Ride-hailing app, Didi. This is the most common way to get around by car. Payment apps. WeChat Pay and Alipay. These are essential for daily payments in China. Food delivery apps. Taobao Flash Delivery or Meituan. Lifestyle and review app. Dianping. Great for finding restaurants, cafes, attractions, and services. We've already made a detailed video explaining how to use these apps, so if you are interested, feel free to check out that episode as well. There are two key things you should always check. 1. Make sure your passport is valid for at least 6 months. 2. Double-check the length of stay allowed on your visa. Before you arrive, take photos of your passport and visa page, or save digital copies on your phone or cloud storage. When you are out exploring, try not to carry your passport with you or keep it separate from your bag. That way, if your bag gets lost, your passport is still safe. If your passport does get lost, don't panic. Go to the nearest police station and ask for help. In many cases, it can be found surprisingly quickly. China mainly uses Type A and Type I power plugs. Make sure to bring plug adapter before you arrive. Credit cards generally work well in shopping malls, supermarkets. However, many shops and street vendors usually accept WeChat Pay, Alipay, or cash. These are the two payment apps Chinese people use every day. If you don't have them, cash still works. But once you start using mobile payments, you will quickly see how convenient they are. After arriving in China, you can register using your phone number and link an international credit card. I recommend also linking a debit card because some merchants don't accept credit card payments through WeChat Pay or Alipay. Set everything up before you leave. It will make your life much easier once you arrive in China. Carry around 300 to 500 RMB as backup cash. It's not your main payment method in China, but it gives you peace of mind, especially in emergencies. Make sure your phone supports Chinese SIM cards. If you are using physical SIM card, your phone needs to have a SIM card slot. You might even consider bringing another spare phone. If you are only visiting China for a short trip, you can also buy a China data roaming eSIM in advance, which is very convenient. You have 3 main options: international roaming, a local Chinese SIM card, and eSIM. You are needed for payments, maps and navigation, ride-hailing, translation, food delivery. Basically, almost everything depends on having internet access. We've also made a previous video on how to get a SIM card and a bank card in China, so feel free to check that out as well. China has 3 major telecom operators: China Mobile, China Unicom, China Telecom. For personal use, China Mobile is the most commonly used. Basic medications. It's a good idea to bring some basic medicines such as cold medicine, stomach medicine, allergy medicine. If you are worried about getting sick while traveling, this can be very helpful in case of an emergency. You don't need to bring a lot. Normal personal use quantities are fine for entry into China. If you need to bring prescription medication, that's okay too. Just bring your doctor's prescription or medical note to show that the medicine is for your personal use. If you plan to take domestic flights within China, please pay close attention to this. Your power bank must have a 3C certification mark, and the capacity must not exceed 27,000 mAh. If your power bank does not meet these requirements, you will not be allowed to bring it on the plane. Starting from July 28, 2025, China's Civil Aviation Administration issued an emergency notice. Any power bank without a clear visible 3C mark, China compulsory certification, is not allowed on domestic flights in China. So please check your power bank carefully before traveling. Address, English plus Chinese. Prepare your hotel or destination address in both English and Chinese. It's best to save or copy it into your phone's notes, so it's easy to show when taking a taxi or using navigation apps. Not all attractions are open 7 days a week. Some places are closed on Mondays, so always check in advance. 点评 The attraction's official website. During public holidays, attractions are usually very crowded. If possible, try to avoid traveling on major holidays. Please, 110. Ambulance, 120. Your country's embassy or consulate in China. In China, an ambulance ride to the hospital usually costs around 200 to 500 RMB, roughly 20 to 70 US dollars. If there's an emergency, don't hesitate to call, and don't worry too much about language barriers. In many cases, English support is available. When you call, just say help or ambulance. Basic Chinese phrases. You don't need to learn much, just a few basics can go a long way. 你好, hello, 谢谢, thank you. For more useful phrases like how much or sorry, you can check out my first video or my shorts, where I've organized simple, practical Chinese phrases just for you. So don't forget to subscribe. I post updates regularly. Always check the weather forecast before you go. In southern China, the weather can change very quickly. It might be sunny one moment and pouring rain the next, especially in summer. Prepare umbrellas and suitable clothing in advance. If you use Alipay and get caught in the rain without an umbrella, you can borrow one at nearby subway stations. Just pay a small deposit, return it after use, and the deposit will be refunded automatically. China isn't difficult. Being prepared makes everything much easier. With just a bit of preparation, you can enjoy a smooth, stress-free, and fun trip in China. Alright folks, thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you next time. Bye!